everybody. I am Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professionals. We are live, and we are an interview series that has been running for almost 8 years now. So I bring to you industry experts from all over the world that help improve your personal life or can help you grow your business. Today, I am not going to disappoint you. I have the beautiful, the bold, the brave, the very amazing Sherrika. She is the owner and CEO of Transform the GAAP and a corporate accounting expert. So she just has years and years of seasoned experience in that space, and we're going to learn all about her today. So welcome, Sherrika.
Yay! Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. So tell us how, first of all, I know there is a code in the whole space of the GAAP space. So tell us about that.
Yes. So GAAP, GAAP, is a widely known accounting term which stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. And when I started my business, I wanted to make sure that I still spoke to the accountants because I had been a corporate accountant for over 15 years. And so I wanted something with transformation because that's what I'm all about. But I also wanted to make sure that it spoke to my fellow accountants. So transform the GAAP. However, I do have a little bit of play on it. When speaking with my clients, for me, it's goals assigned, achieving purpose, because we're all about setting goals and meeting the mark. So, yes.
I love that. So capital GAAP, and that is beautiful and excellent. So tell us a little bit about your past and your experience and what led you to kind of open your own space.
So, oddly enough, had someone asked me probably 2-3 years ago, what type of entrepreneur would I be or what would my business be? I would have called them a liar and said I would never, actually I did say I would never be an entrepreneur. I am a W-2 employee. I like the safety of getting, knowing when I get paid. I like the bonuses. It's stressful, but you know what? I like my guarantee. I'm not a risk taker. And so going back 15 plus years in corporate accounting. Throughout that entire time, I worked with privately held and private equity organizations. So if you know anything about those type of organizations, they're always going through a change. They're always buying, they're always selling, they're always doing something. And so throughout my years, I have led teams through mergers, acquisitions, divestitures, IPO, in and out of bankruptcy, reverse merger, all of the changes that you can think of. And what I started to realize towards the end was that I really love what I did and the impact it made for my team, meaning the help that I provided to them, helping them to become better accountants, helping them to get to the next level in their career, helping to resolve the conflict, because after a merger or an acquisition and you put two groups of stranger dangers together, there's typically conflict. So helping to resolve conflict. And I'm like, you know what? It's time that I do what I love, but on my own terms. And here we are with Transform the GAAP.
I love that. I love that. So talk to us about the kind of clients that come to you and where are they and what's happening in their work that says, oh my gosh, I need a Sherrika in my life. Help me with the GAAP. I need it. So what's happening with them when they come to you?
Yes. So my clients are honestly the type of companies that I've worked with in the past. They are private equity and privately held organizations. And these organizations have an accounting team. The accounting team is light, meaning it's not that many people, because in these organizations, they're not putting a lot of money into accounting. Accountants do not produce revenue, so they don't get a lot of the money. And they're told we want you to do it all, but with very little. And so typically, they know they need me. They're not meeting the mark somewhere. If they're taking the whole month to close out the monthly books, if they feel like they're just going from one monthly close cycle to the next, to the next, to the next, because they're not reporting timely, if they feel like they're not getting accurate reports, if there's an issue or a concern with the level of talent team and they're not sure if it's the talent or the systems, these are, or even conflict within the team. These are some of the few reasons that typically the CFO or the accounting team decision maker reaches out to me and is like, hey, help. I like to say that I help resolve the accounting team issues keeping the CFO up at night. So that's how I like to.
Now, are you working with companies that have 100 employees, 1,000 employees? Is it, I mean, so what's kind of the number range that usually has a few staff members in the accounting space? So what kind of size company usually has that?
Great question. That's small to medium size. Now, we're thinking on the corporate aspect here, because when you talk about it as an entrepreneur like me, and I think medium sized, it's different than when you're looking at it corporate as the corporation. So I deal with accounting teams that have anywhere from 3 people up to 10 people. That can be a company size anywhere from 100 people up to 1,000 people, honestly. So there is a large range in there. I have worked more with the higher end of that, as far as working with the team and pulling the overall team together. On the opposite end, where it's been the smaller team, on that side has been more of training and getting the team up to speed versus we already have the team, but we're just not producing effectively or efficiently. So those tend to be the two differences that I see based on the size of the company.
Now, based on your organic growth as an individual company and business owner, have you found that you're working with one specific industry more often than not? Or is it truly a variety of industries? Are you in like the tech space or medical, or is it, what kind of companies industry wise, is there a trend there with that, or does that really not come into play for you?
It really doesn't come into play. During my time, I worked in telecommunications, service as a software, real estate default, legal. Like I've worked in various industries myself. So industry is not, I am not industry specific, but it does, I will say, I have not had any public clients. So organizations that are public organizations. And that's because in order to be public, there are certain things that you have to have in place. You can't take, 3 weeks to close out the books. You can't produce inaccurate reports, and you have to make sure you're reporting to the SEC and all these other organizations on time. And so on the private side, you don't have that. They have a lot more leeway, and that's where I come in. Because of that leeway, they tend to kind of do things, whether they want to or not, they're doing what they want and not really scaling up. Yeah.
So one of the things I didn't have, I could work with publicly or privately held companies in the past. And in my past, I worked for an organization where the CFO was my target, my prime customer, right? And one of the things I did that really helped me, and again, this will depend on whether the company, I guess, is privately held or publicly held, but I created an email that I didn't care too much about, and I created Google alerts, and I put in quotes, a new CFO. And every time there was a press release anywhere in the country or information put out from a company about a brand new CFO, that was a really hot client for me, because we were doing auditing. We were looking at water, gas, electric, phones, trash removal, freight, shipping. And we were getting contract compliance and billing errors and refunds for them based on the errors in these vendors that they have chosen, right? And we weren't changing their providers or anything. So, and it was kind of a Robin Hood model where it was no result, no fee. And when a brand new CFO swooped in and found, hundreds of thousands of dollars in refunds or savings that didn't cost them anything until after they got the money back, they looked like a superhero.
Yes.
And
yes.
And the interesting thing, I was just reading this again, but I could have written this article because I already knew this just from the experience of working for like 15 or 17 years in the space of the world of CFOs, was they have like a life cycle of about 3 years. After 3 years, they're out, right? Because they don't want to hold the bag if the business is going down, and if the business is on the upswing, they want out so that they can get to the next really great CFO position. Right? This is the protocol of the world of CFOs. So it might be a really great suggestion for you to look for those brand new CFOs, because that will help them look like a hero as they perfect their systems and their teams and efficiency. And the other thing to know is, you get that new guy, then you get the guy who was there before him, because you follow and find where he went, and then where the other guy came from before. So you end up with like 3 really hot new corporations that you can pursue based on the knowledge of that one, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. So just
Smart.
saying,
That's very smart.
might be a good
Yeah.
tip for you.
I'll take it. Thank you.
The other thing I did was I spoke at conferences that were directed to CFOs, right? CFOs of universities, CFOs of hospitals, CFOs of power companies. I spoke all over the country to the national annual conference, basically for the CFO of, right, whatever it was. And that was a huge growth factor and success factor for me too, is going to those conferences, participating even as just a regular somebody attending the conference, to speaking keynote at them, to running workshops, to whatever. Those were always a really good investment for me, and great relationships and good intel on those spaces. So another really cool thing to do. So tell us, when you do have this company come work with you, do you work with them all in person? Is some of it virtual? Is it a hybrid? How are you working with their teams and supporting these companies that you're working with?
It's all virtual unless they request that I come on site. And so now that everyone is kind of spread out all over the place, if there's a company meeting or an accounting something where the CFO is going to be with the team, then they have asked me to come on before, just to, everybody can kind of meet face to face. But for the most part, it is all virtual, which I adore.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. So can you give us a tip that an individual solopreneur or a corporate and their team could use that would really help them improve the space of their business? So often people dread and don't understand their numbers, don't want to know their numbers. They just go in like, okay, hopefully we're not going to close our doors and all the money is there that we need.
Yes. So I would say on the corporate side, it would definitely be to take full advantage, let me say it that way, of your ERP. Because what I found quite often is there's an ERP in place, and either because the team just doesn't know how to use it, or the organization doesn't want to spend the money on training, they're taking full advantage. And so they're still doing a lot of things manually, which of course takes longer. You have a large number of errors, and then you're spending, it's not cost effective. And so for organizationally, I would say take full advantage of your ERP. If it's paid training, pay for the training. Even if you just take 1 or 2 people instead of like everyone, take your, top 1 or 2 and let them train everybody else. Do it, whatever way makes sense, but make sure you're taking advantage of that, because you could really reap a lot of benefits in the end, and possibly even having that system do a lot more work for you than it's doing right now. So that would be for an organization. For an entrepreneur, definitely I would say begin with the end in mind. Where do you want your business to end? Like, is your end goal to sell? Is your end goal to produce a multi-million-dollar corporation where you are the CEO? What is your end game? Because depending on what that is, then that's how you should operate the business. So, for me, as still a company with an employee of one, I have any of the systems that I put in place, any other programs that I'm using, I'm looking at how do they serve me now, and then how will they serve me when I grow to X level? Because I'm all about efficiency, automation, and I want to make sure that I have something that I can grow into versus, now every, year or so we're having to look for a new system because we've outgrown the last one. So beginning with the end in mind and taking full advantage of your ERP.
I love that. That's a great tip. And as solopreneurs, there is softwares and tools and automation and all the AI and the bots and all the things that all. But I would say you should at least, have a really good CPA or accountant or coach, a financial coach, someone who can help look at all those things for you with the mindset of a CFO, even if you're just hiring them on a consulting basis, or a temporary, basis. Maybe once a quarter you pay them to come in and look at everything, or
Yeah.
something like that, is a great way to help keep you to the growth that you want to see, financially, especially if that's not your gift, right? If your gift is your product
Yeah.
and your service, it's not the accounting of it all, then you really want to have someone great in your corner there, because, just saying. And I will give the disclaimer: we are not giving you financial, legal, medical. We're not your
Right.
doctor,
Right.
your
Right.
lawyer, or your financial planner. Go talk to one of them. We're sharing with you what
Exactly.
us based on what we know, what our opinions are. Then you got to run with
Hmm.
it from there. So, but I still think those are really great suggestions. Now, since show number one, you're out there watching, I hope your fingers are ready, because you know what's coming. Put in the comments the cause that is close to your heart. We always ask our guests who come on, the cause that is close to their heart, and we want you to hit the share button. You can inspire someone to do something good today with time, treasure, or talent, with the cause that you put in the comments, or the cause Sherrika shares today, just by hitting the share button. I mean, that is a heroic act, and it's a single little one button push. You can do it. I know you can, and we're really grateful. Sherrika, share with us the cause that's close to your heart.
A really big one that's close to my heart is St. Jude Children's Hospital. It's one that I donate to each month, and I even have it. You can't really see it, but I have it, a postcard on the wall behind me of what I want my giving goal to be. And honestly, I want to exit times 1,000, because just everything that they do. If you've ever been to Memphis, which is where they're based out of, Memphis, Tennessee, and to see how much they cater to the families do not receive bills. They don't want the families worrying about paying for the hospital bills. They make sure that they are fed, that they're set up, the parents are set up in a really nice space to stay, and just really do everything to accommodate the family. And I just love the whole idea of it all. And I mean, whether you have kids or not, I just think that is something that, how can you hear that and just not be touched by it, you know? So that's definitely, it's very near and dear to me.
Yeah, I'd say nothing is harder for a parent than to see, a child sick and then be worried about all the other things in the background. You really can't think straight,
Yeah.
when your kid needs you. It's hard to do anything else, right? So,
Yeah.
I appreciate that very much, and thank you for sharing that. So, St. Jude's, spend some time, treasure, or talent there. Put in the comments the cause you love. Let's get some hero action going out there. Let's inspire some people to do something good today. So, one of the other things I am banana sauce about is books. I have them everywhere. I like audiobooks. I like hard paper books. I'll plant a tree, I promise. I just love, 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 love books. And I'm really big on self-help books, but I like all kinds of books. I like books for just pure enjoyment, and for inspiration, and all kinds of books. And I'm writing some books myself this coming soon. I'm excited about. But I want Sherrika to share with us a book that inspired her personal life or helped her grow her business.
So this is a book that I recently read, and it's called U Squared.
Mm,
And it's a really small book. It's by Dr. Price Pritchard, and it's about going to the next level, pushing yourself to do that next big thing, getting out of your head, putting fear to the side. Because I am a big believer in, one, you get what you prepare for, and
mm,
then also of just manifesting the best. If you constantly speak negatively, you believe negatively, that's what you reap. But if
mm,
you speak positively, if you put positive out there, and if you do everything in your power to get to that next,
mhm,
then everything else will just work its way around in your life to work for your best. So U squared, and it's YOU with the two, if any math people, the two at the top, like you see with squared. But it's a really small book, but one that I really, really enjoy reading.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I've never heard that one before. I always love that we're going to have a new book to add to our list. We're creating an ultimate list of all the books that our guests in the past have recommended. So I'm excited about that. That sounds like a fantastic one. And now, if you're watching out there and you have a book that you want to recommend, throw it in the comments. We want to see it. We want to hear about it. And if you're writing a book or you've written a book, put that in the comments too. We'd love to see that. Now, you might be thinking, wait, I am an industry expert. I could help improve someone's personal life or grow their business. I'm thinking I should be on Jessica's show. I'm going to say, whoa, that sounds like a great idea. Why don't you reach out to us and our team, and we will show you how to get on the show too, because we would love to feature you also. Sherrika, it has been just so lovely being with you here today, hearing about your knowledge. I'm so sure that all the companies and businesses and teams that you work with walk away after working with you just a better, brighter, more productive company. What a benefit they've received to have the opportunity to work with you. I'm so happy for you in your venture. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what? Yesterday, someone gave me the biggest compliment. They reached out to me on LinkedIn, and I saw that it was the last time we had spoken was probably about 3 years ago. And it was someone that I interviewed for a job and when I was in corporate. And she was like, hey, just saying hi. I really wanted, and we didn't offer her the opportunity. We went another route. But she was like, I really just wanted to work with you. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's like the biggest compliment. So she and I are going to be trying to, team up and see where we can collaborate now. But that was really a big compliment, and it really made my day. And I'm not even sure what made me bring that up, but I just.
Well, I would say how much we loved having you. But before we say goodbye, we're going to get you to share a final piece of information or inspiration to close us out anyway. So what do you have for us?
Yes. So like I had made the comment a few minutes earlier of I've always gotten what I prepared for. So what I love to say is you do not get what you deserve. You get what you expect. You are the author of your next chapter. So what does that mean? Own your space. Take advantage of all opportunities. You miss every opportunity you don't take. So take advantage of all of your opportunities and just shine, honestly.
I love that. Just shine. That is a great way to end the show. Thank you there, everyone, for watching. I'm your host, Jessica Koch. This is Profound Professionals, the interview show that interviews industry experts from across the globe that help improve your personal life and grow your business. So until our next show, please be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. And don't forget, like Sherrika said, to shine. Bye, everybody.